Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kiera.
This is Leah.
This is Solo.
You're listening to He Said, We Said. Happy Daylight Savings.
Oh,
Right.
I don't know why. It's like I go back and forth between when I remember and when I don't remember. But unfortunately, I'm one of those people that didn't have to change the clock in my car, so I'm right on time.
Oh, you know what? I
I had
forgot
to need
about
check
that kind
mine.
of stuff. Yeah, I need to check my clock. I think I do have to set mine. Maybe. I don't know.
I do need to change my clock on the wall
You got a
though.
wall clock?
I got one in the bedroom.
Okay.
Okay.
Just you wake up and just look
I don't know
without
why I
have. I guess
have.
I was trying to minimize, my excuse to check the phone. I just wanted to
Okay.
I
look
have such low standards when it comes to men and decorating their places.
up. What?
So no, but it's just funny. You said, yeah, you got a wall clock. We were like, oh, okay.
I know,
No,
right?
Like,
seriously.
how
I'll be.
disrespectful.
Yeah, I'll be. Well, I mean, who just has one nowadays?
I had a wall clock
I do.
actually that I've taken down now. So I mean, why not? It can add to some decor, spruce up the house
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah, we always kept one in the kitchen.
In the kitchen with
Growing
the
Um,
up,
microwave and the
we actually had one in the kitchen
stove.
too, growing up.
just one of those
Really? That
things.
was
Yeah.
probably the
Yeah,
one space we didn't. The dining room, no, the dining room we had a clock. Kitchen is probably the only one that we didn't have a separate clock. Everywhere else had a clock.
Mm.
interesting. Well, you guys, if you got your stimulus, you can buy a whole bunch of clocks. A lot of people have them in their accounts now. I need to check to see if mine
I know. I checked.
came. You still ain't have yours, huh? Look, these people are coming up on quite a bit if they have children. Still not
Look,
worth it for me, but hey, I ain't mad at you. Get your money. Get your money.
you can't be mad at it, but I can hate for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
where I'm at. um, but hey, shout out to them.
Yeah. We also want to recognize the 1 year passing of Breonna Taylor. It has been officially a year since she passed away, but we did not know it just yet as like the general public, right? Like I want to say it may have been like a month and some change after she passed away when it became like a
A
national
thing.
headline.
Like
Right, right.
mainstream, right? So this was
Yeah.
probably around the time we had heard about Ahmaud
Aubrey.
Arbery,
Yeah.
because I know that he passed in February. And by the time we had found out, I was
Maybe it
like,
was a
wait a
month
second.
because we were still out, right?
Yeah, we were still out, but I remember when I found out about it, we were in quarantine.
100%.
And so I
Yeah.
was like, wait a second, when this happened? Because
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
remember the mile thing. It was like, do it for
Yeah, because there
228 or
was.
something
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it may have been April when we found out about Ahmad because
I think I
I
fucked
was
that up.
home with the mile thing. I was home in
Hmm.
Dallas.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
so I think it may have been like early April, maybe at the earliest late March, like very, very late March.
Okay.
Um, George Floyd's family got a $27 million settlement. I mean, doesn't take place of
The place
their
of a life.
family member, right? But I mean, 27 million is life changing.
The
So,
least the city could do.
very least,
Yes. Yes.
very
Yes.
least.
Yes.
I
Yes.
always wonder what takes so long on stuff like this.
You mean the payout or the settlement?
Either. I mean, this is the first number that I've heard. So I'm just wondering.
In over a year, right? They've been trying to
Yeah.
fight this.
Yeah, like has it been a fight? Has it been a thing? Like did they offer a number and the family was like too low? Like and they just been going back and forth and so we just hear the settled amount or is that I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to figure out because clearly people have, come to their senses as of what was it, June? They started
Yeah.
coming to their senses. And so we started to be on the same page that the George Floyd thing was wrong as far as a country for the most part.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering like what takes like that part so long. I'm assuming the family was pushing back and not the
But
Yeah.
city.
I feel like it normally takes longer. Like it hasn't even been a year yet since he's passed. You hear these stories about families finally getting something like 3 and 4 and 5 years
Well,
later.
it's true.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that they, like anything else, they had their number. The city had their number. and somebody wasn't trying to budge, and I guess eventually they just met in the middle, or maybe somebody exhausted, all their resources and like, fuck it, let's just take the lower number.
Wow. So how does that work? Do they just wire 27 million into the account? Do you get a check? Is it
Just
installments?
sell it
Like,
over.
how does
I'm
that work?
pretty sure they cut them a check.
Which
Okay.
Get them
account
to
would it
sign
come
like
out
it.
of?
No. Well, 27 million is a lot. Now, maybe if it was 27,000 or 270,000, but I'm pretty sure they get their little I-90 tax purposes, get them to sign that shit, and then cut them a check or something.
Okay.
Guess so. I mean, hey, my bank be
You know,
having
we gotta
problems
get them
after
taxes up out
us.
of there. You feel me?
That part. So, is it taxable? Settlement from the government.
I don't
Should
see
it?
why.
It
I
should
don't
be like
see
a
why it
refund.
wouldn't be. I don't see why it wouldn't be, man. Or I need to. If I was negotiating, I'm like, this needs to be after taxes.
Look, don't try to tell me later
You
that it's
know.
taxable.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I take care of the fam too.
Well, let's take a quick break. Okay, everyone. I hope you have your tea and your crumpets ready. It was a royal showdown this time last week with the Duchess of Sussex. What's her name? Meghan Markle. And the Prince of Wales, Harry. What's their last name? Do we know their last
name? Harry.
Interesting. We'll say Harry Markle for now. But they went on and had a sit-down interview with Oprah. It was 2 hours long. A lot of things were revealed. Did you guys watch it? And what did you think from what you saw?
I definitely saw it. I didn't see everything. I missed parts of the beginning, so you might have to fill me in on that. But I feel like overall, one, I'm not surprised. She appeared to be very frustrated or not really herself in interviews, and kind of holding back in interviews and holding back tears and other emotions. And so for this one, she seemed a little more lax and way more forthcoming about things, but still, I guess, respectful and I can't say that, or I can't speak to that. But
yeah,
not,
she was
not really
really being censored. It seemed like didn't want to say the wrong thing. And I mean, I guess at the same time she didn't want to call names, I'm guessing. But from my understanding, it seemed like maybe the queen wasn't one of the people that was giving her a hard time or giving her trouble, and it was maybe other members of the family. So I guess she kind of didn't really want to just totally besmirch them. You know what I mean?
They said the institution. And that is a new word in my vocabulary when referring to them. Instead of just saying the royal family.
The family, right?
It's the institution.
It's actually the family. So she used the terms the institution, and she used the term the firm. The firm is the immediate family. So that's the queen.
All
that's
right.
Charles, all of them. I've been doing my research. The institution is the actual business, big business monarch of the royals, all of that, right? So as individuals, they are a brand, right? They're marketing, they have their own assistants, they have their own all this other stuff, and then you have the institution as a whole, which includes the HR department, the PR, all this other stuff. So, I believe Meghan. I hate that she's had to go through some of this stuff, but I did have a little bit of a side eye when Oprah asked her if she Googled the family or if she did any kind of Googling, right? And she said she didn't. And it's like, you may not have to Google your man. And I understand wanting to get to know do for yourself. Because she was like, I wanted what he told me to be what it is. I understand that. But we're talking about a prince. We're talking about a royal family that has been around for centuries, thousands of years here.
Yeah.
They have colonized all kinds of different countries. They have ripped countries from their natural resources. And you surprised by some racism? What? These people have enslaved people. You surprised? What? Meghan
Yeah.
is smarter than that. I'm sorry, something is off.
Especially a family that's so well documented and an abundance of information being there at your fingertips. You mean not once did you just beep, 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 just a little quick turn.
Maybe she meant just him. Maybe she meant, and that's what she was kind of referring to. She was
Oprah specifically asked her again.
Oh,
yeah.
This is a royal family. You didn't think to look up anything. Girl, you didn't know you needed to curtsy in front of the queen? What?
Yeah.
Come on, this is some basic stuff you probably should have just done a quick Google.
I mean, I know if I was to run across like a Nigerian princess, so she claims to be, yeah, I'm gonna look up, is she really a Nigerian princess? That's just me, so I don't know.
Well, you don't gotta
that's
confirm.
the prince, right? Like she know that's the prince, but like no background on the institute. Like, come on now.
I'll definitely say I would have done his background after we started getting serious. Like, hold on, okay. I probably wouldn't have in the very beginning if I have this rule in my head of like wanting to get to know somebody. Maybe I would have refrained, but maybe after the third or fourth date.
We talking marriage. It's time to do some Googling.
You ain't no dirt. You ain't trying to pull up no dirt on nobody.
Come on. Like, it's one thing if like you grew up in this. Like, I'd imagine that being a decent excuse for someone who was British. We're talking cultural differences here. Like, come on now.
Or I would have at least tried to see, have there been any Black people in the family? Something.
Nah, I think we probably just would have known that. I mean, she.
Wait. Maybe somebody had a lost child out there. I don't know. You mean to tell me they wasn't fucking Black people?
I mean, I'm sure they were.
I don't know if that would have been easily
the whole
found, though. I don't think that would have been
colonizational institution that they implemented. Nobody was fucking Black people.
I'm sure.
My bad.
I'm sure plenty of them were, but I will say this: somebody shared something about a royal from like the 1700s who people now think may have had African ancestry, and at the time, apparently, like it's been documented that they said that she has the face of a mulatto and her hair was a little pinkier and all this other stuff. We don't have like actual like pictures, right? But they have portraits of her where it's like, okay, maybe she was Black, but the institution is like, no, this girl is not Black, which of course they're gonna say that, right? But who knows?
They probably banished their asses or ostracized them and sent them away.
Put them in the dungeon.
If they wanted
off
to,
with her head.
Dungeon.
Better go to the Night's Watch. I don't know.
Look, so I mean, people have definitely.
Well, not the Night's Watch, but 1700s.
Similar concept though. Like this is where we send other people.
Right. So, I mean, she also talked about mental illness and how she contemplated like ending her life, which certainly was sad. No one apparently like wanted to help. She spoke to people about it. Harry spoke to people. And this is the other thing. Shout out to this girl who runs this For Harriet page. She brought this to my attention. She's like, Harry did not even ask his family for help when it came to his wife. He asked the people who were running the ship. And it's like, Oprah asked like, so who did you ask? Like, you didn't ask your people? And so he's like, no, that's embarrassing. And it's like, you can't ask your grandma, your granny, who is the queen running the ship.
But you know what? I honestly think that this is one, and maybe this is just too much TV watching on my part. I think it was probably one of those situations, how you have, like, of course she's the queen, right? She's old, feeble. She probably really ain't doing shit. And then there's that little finger guy running the show behind the scenes, right? Who's actually the person that's pulling the strings. What's the queen doing, really?
So I'd give you that, but apparently they have pictures of the queen and she still drives her Range Rover to this day. So if you cognitive enough to be driving your Range Rover, you ought to be able to make
what, 90?
94, 93?
So basically they're saying they just went to HR.
Wait, okay, it was two different questions.
Wait,
what did you say, Leah?
So they went to basically HR. They went to the
firm,
the company instead of going to the, hey, boss, grandma, this is what we're trying to get accomplished. And we get pushback.
Yeah.
I honestly, there's a lot of questions I have. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of research on this. They're talking about they couldn't afford security for Meghan and Harry. The family in total is worth $88 billion. What you mean
Yeah.
you can't afford
Like,
some
why would they
security?
say that? Like, to even say that to me, and I'm Harry, like, don't disrespect me.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
We ain't got money. You're lying.
Exactly. Shout out to Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
I
So
would have
okay. So what
never.
was that about? I mean, I didn't get that
I
part where
need
I
to
just started
know.
seeing memes talking about Medea's gonna be the security and all this. I was like, wait, how did
I,
Tyler
the
Perry come in and be security?
apparently Tyler Perry came through. Harry and
The
Meghan
security?
said they don't have security, and Tyler Perry said, "Look, y'all can stay at my place." I guess he had it. Was it what city were they in?
Atlanta?
No, no, somewhere in
Santa
California.
Barbara. Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara?
Yeah, so they were in California, and he gave them his security. Now I wonder if he was there or if he was in Atlanta, and so it was just like y'all can have it because I'm in
Yeah.
Atlanta anyway. Because I think Tyler Perry got all this stuff going on with BET. They got new stuff popping.
And
So
I was just thinking, I was just like, when I thought about it, I was like, knowing who they are and their ties to the royal family and all that, it's like, yeah, they can't move without security. You never know who may try to capture, kidnap, or
They've been
anything.
having death threats.
they get
Like
yes.
they have
Like
to
they
have
can't fly
security.
first class. They got to get on the
Look,
private.
Harry said I
Yes.
specifically asked if they felt like the risk had changed, and for them to be like, no.
Yeah.
But
Oh
we
wow.
ain't got it. So good luck.
It's ridiculous.
What? It sounds like
Yeah.
you sending the shooters.
No,
Like,
seriously. I will say a lot of Twitter were saying this too. They definitely undersold the interview through the previews. Like, you know how sometimes you watch a movie or a show and with the preview, you kind of get an understanding of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There were so many things that they did not show in the previews that were like a lot more like jaw dropping. I was like, oh, CBS, Oprah, y'all did the damn thing. Can you please release the full footage? I think they did like over 3 hours of interviewing, but they chopped it down, which really we probably only saw really about an hour and a half considering like commercials and stuff.
Mm.
Let's see all the footage. I want to know the other stuff because they was dropping some tea, especially Harry. Me and my dad talked about this before he stopped answering my phone calls. Oh, let us know. Yeah.
look, at
Yeah,
that
I
point,
think
it's
if
like
anybody
if you
that
didn't
was,
want me to say it,
yeah, I think
You
if
should have
anybody
picked
was
up
the
the
main culprit, it was
phone.
him.
Yeah.
look, give me a Harry.
Look. So yeah, the family has been trying to fight back on this. William did speak out and he was like, the royal family is very much not a racist family.
Sure.
Wow.
Which
Wow.
people are speculating that it was either him or his dad that made the comments about the skin. Oprah did confirm that Harry
That's what I think. One of
said
them
that it
two.
was not the grandparents.
Yeah, yeah. He
So
said not. Yeah.
yeah, and Harry did not want to drop names because he said it would be very damaging if he were to
Yeah.
say it. So I'm
I
almost
hope
leaning
for
towards his
William's sake
brother.
it wasn't him because don't you be the one that made that comment and I just saved you by not saying it was you and you
Yeah.
came out. I
We
hope
hope
it
you'd have a little
wasn't.
bit more respect for your brother or a closer relationship than that. But
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Last thing, Pierce Morgan was kind of like, I guess, trending during this time. He left the set of his morning show when they got a little hot in the kitchen. I think it was staged. I
they
think
said
he
he
had to.
resigned though,
Who exactly
right?
is Piers? Because I saw the talk about him and I
Piers
wasn't
Morgan.
able to place him. Yeah.
Piers Morgan is a guy who he's from the UK. He actually had a show on CNN some years
Yeah,
ago.
he did come over to America for a little bit, and he was
Yeah.
doing the same kind of thing.
And so he went back over there. I don't know what he would be like, what a British person would describe him as, but he kind of reminds me of like a Bill O'Reilly kind of a guy, like
Oh,
says
okay.
Yeah,
controversial stuff,
yeah.
whatever. But apparently Fox News is creating a Fox News for the UK, because there's like a whole movement of like right wing whatever happening there. And word on the street is he's probably going to go to that network. So to me, I figured he wasn't just leaving the set because it got hot. I knew he had to have had something going on in the background, maybe some negotiations or some deals. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. But
he was cutting for the queen. Boy, I'm like, are you getting paid here?
Sharon Osbourne too.
Yeah. I think she ended up apologizing for her comments or whatever.
People's colors come out. We saw somebody else's color come out. Kirk Franklin. He got caught on the hot mic. Not quite a hot mic, but his son blasted him. Yeah, he didn't know he was being recorded.
Now,
so he was who we thought he was, huh?
That part. I'm sorry. Like, I am so sorry, but everybody that's kind of like coming after him so hot, and he's supposed to be this and that, and I'm like, are y'all really surprised? Kirk Franklin he's had some like moments where he has caught himself and didn't continue, and it's like, clearly it's because whatever camera is rolling, you can tell how he get down at his house.
100%.
But it's so funny because when you hear him yell and screaming and talking over, you know, the gospel songs, it sounded just like that, but
exactly the same. I
was like, yeah, I could see him arguing like that, cursing and carrying on.
I didn't listen to the audio, but I was not surprised. And honestly, too, like, I feel like Kirk Franklin has never put himself out there to be this holier than thou, I'm perfect, whatever kind of thing. He's had some controversies throughout the years. He's been very vocal about his struggles with pornography and I think maybe even infidelity. I don't know. I think he did cheat on his wife. If I'm not mistaken.
I think the thing was porn, maybe some gay porn or something on the computer, and so and then he said he was a sex addict, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. He definitely says that. So I mean, he's been very open about certain struggles and whatnot. So I wasn't surprised.
I just feel like
I ain't gonna lie,
this doesn't go against the image that I've had of him. Like it just not that much. And we're talking about him arguing with arguing with a 30-plus-year-old man.
I don't think my parents ever talked to me like that though.
Different story.
I'm just keeping a buck. I don't know what I could possibly do to have my mom or my dad just curse me out like that.
The part that sucks is the audio starts with him, right? So you don't know how long
you don't know what he's saying,
and we don't know the history of their dynamic. Like I guess according to the child or his child, he's always been treating him this way, and they always have had this whatever kind of relationship. I didn't listen to Kirk's apology because I was just like, I don't need it.
Like, the low key, the son was probably like, "Yeah, you bitch ass pussy ass nigga, record."
Right. Or just edit it right after he said that. This is the guy that you guys love so much.
Right. But then he even said, I'm not even going to release the full thing. And it's just like, too late, son. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, release the whole full thing. He probably cursing like a motherfucker too, though.
He did.
Saying some vitriolic shit.
That's caught in there. He's still cursing him out back. It's like, that seems like that's
he said, I didn't do anything to you. I was like, that sounds like go.
Hey, do I need to listen to the audio? This sounds a little juicy.
I mean, it's like 30 seconds or something. It's not long.
Definitely worth a listen. It's okay. You'll laugh on this Sunday.
That's not something I should be laughing at this Sunday, but you know what? I'll give it a listen. They have also, well, I'm not gonna say they, but I did see from a friend that apparently people are saying there may have been mental illness with this guy. Like he may have some mental health issues. So I don't know. I pray for healing, but 14 years not hearing from a parent, it sounds like whatever happened. Well, what's 33 minus 14? Is that 19?
What? Yeah.
Okay, the guy is 33 years old. He says he hasn't had much communication with his father for 14 years. So I'm trying to see how old he was when things kind of stopped.
So he's in college.
I guess so. And the thing
what? I think we've had like certain conversations about this. Like it's something about that father-son dynamic at that age. And you know, that 18, 19, 20, like you're not gonna talk to me like that. You're not gonna talk to me like that.
Huh? I ain't gonna lie. I had me a crazy chaotic situation at like 18. and it took a
So
while for
I
me and my dad to come
mean,
back. But
I think it's part
yeah,
of a struggle that maybe they weren't able to
but
get
14
past
years is a long fucking time.
on top of maybe other situations too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we just got a 30-second snippet of that probably hour-long conversation. And
Right.
so it's just like that's what you chose to release. Like,
Yeah.
sir, come on.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because Kirk Franklin, I think, did y'all say he had him when he was 17 years old or something like that?
I think so.
So, I mean, even with just that context, your experiences with a parent that was 17 years old when they had you versus his siblings' experience with
That's rough
his
too, I'm
the
sure.
parents being married and probably wanting to have children, you know, a more stable environment and all that other stuff. Like, I could totally see how his reality would be different from the
Ooh,
other
However,
kids'
however
that
anybody
first
else
child
views
syndrome,
him.
huh? We was there from the struggle, and you didn't grow up with all the,
Right.
Yeah,
all
I
the
think it's a
riches
lot of
and
factors
fame
in
that your father
yeah.
had.
Right. Because he said from third grade to a certain amount of time is when he started, like, I guess, touring with his dad. And so I don't know. You're about the same age as this guy. How old are you? How old were you in third grade? About 9, 10,
Something
9,
like
I
8,
that.
think you're
9.
about an 8 or 9.
So that
Mhm.
would have been the early 90s. And that's around the time when Kirk really started picking up. So yeah, if you kind of were struggling and then like your youngest sibling has always been exposed to this life, like,
Mm.
I could see,
I
but
can see that their relationship would be to the point that it's at.
Slightly
It doesn't
different.
really sound, yeah. I don't know. It just, and obviously not to kind of just accept Kirk for cussing out his kid like that. I think I'm just saying I'm not surprised.
Probably
It
I was
and
there when you was gang banging, before you fooled these people.
right.
was he gang banging?
Nah, nah.
I think
Oh,
it's
He
just
always make it
it's
seem
just
like he was in the streets or some
yeah.
shit
Okay,
before he
okay. Settle down
he
and
he
found
looked like
God.
someone who found God, like grew up in the
God
church, but
helped
then he
him
lost his way, he
through.
came back.
Yeah.
He did have a heart. I have heard his story. He did have a hard upbringing, Kirk.
Yeah,
And I think he may have even had like issues with his parents. So
yeah.
Oh man.
hopefully that family heals. We're gonna move on to Netflix. They are cracking down on you guys for all this password sharing. They are going to make it, or at least start a trial where they're going to see how they can minimize people sharing their passwords. So I guess you'll have to
Mm.
set something up in your settings to verify certain computers or email accounts
Um
or something like that.
You know what?
So,
They already got something on my account. I be in one room and I accidentally like don't press pause or something. I try to get on the other one. It's like this is being used somewhere else. Press stop or something like that. So I don't know if I'm in the trial group. I'll be like, dang, I'm in the same house.
Yikes.
So
oh,
Well,
so let me get this straight. So they're trying to do like a two-prong authentication type deal. Is that what it is? Like they'll prompt you to put in like a code or some shit to verify it? Is that
I
what it's
don't
like?
know the exact way. So I don't know like the operations of how it'll work. I just know that it's happening. So,
Because I'm trying to see how they're gonna cut down though.
well, see, here's the thing. Right now, they have it to where you can set up a profile, right?
Yeah.
On the front end. So I'm assuming on the back end, it'll probably be about the same thing. I'm trying to think of how like family plans work for like Apple Music or Spotify or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm assuming it's probably going to be something along those lines
Or
where
people
on the
that
back end
even
you
or
do
people
the
that
stuff.
even just have multiple homes. Like how you
Well, if
gonna
you got multiple homes, you could probably afford multiple accounts
or multiple devices. I
or multiple
figured
devices.
fuck
Yeah.
maybe that's what
that?
you meant. Multiple homes. One
What's
one account per home. What they need to say.
Oh hell no. No, no,
Netflix.
no. Fuck that. If I got two
if you
homes,
can afford
I'm
multiple
not trying to
homes,
pay two. You
you
keep
can afford
saying
a
that.
$15 subscription per home if y'all really looking at Netflix like that. You'll see the
But hey,
value.
hey, well, if it's anything this pandemic done shown us, them niggas ain't too far from going broke. So you mean to
It's
tell me?
capitalism. You mean to tell me that they could I'd imagine, I don't know exact numbers, but if I'd have to guess, I'd imagine at least 25% of users who are viewing Netflix probably do not have their own personal account. They're using somebody else's account. So if you can get 25% more in revenue, Come on. Yes. Why wouldn't they? They're trying to get these big blockbuster hits. They're trying to get more Oscars and trying to get all this stuff. It's beyond just like the
Look, we're
like
trying to do our own thing on
right.
top of showing you other people's stuff. We need that Netflix original
Straight
money.
up.
I refuse.
Oh.
Well, either you're gonna be watching Netflix or you're not, I guess.
Well, I'm
once
gonna
we
be
figure
watching.
out.
I'm gonna be watching.
Okay.
I'm going to be watching.
You just need to know what kind of passwords you need to put in. Right?
I'll be like, hey,
that's all you need.
I'm
What's
logging
your
in.
Secret?
Text me the code that they send you.
Basically, okay. Nah.
But if they can only have so many codes, you might not make the cut.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what they're probably gonna do is like when they say Netflix, are you still watching? That's when they're gonna ask for another code.
Nah, I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm trying to figure out how I get restricted in the same house. Like, it looks like another device is still watching.
When they started prompting you like, okay, 3 or more devices, I was like, what is this?
I guess we all getting different warning messages. They haven't figured it out yet.
Like too many. Well, it really started hitting during the pandemic because everybody's at home. I was like, who's watching Netflix at 10 o'clock a.m.?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Seriously. So I guess for y'all with that stimmy, y'all better allocate some of that money for y'all's yearly Netflix subscription. You about to get kicked out and don't have another resource.
They need to just come up with a bundle. Give me the Netflix, Hulu, Amazon.
Honestly,
with my choice of one HBO, give me the 4-pack bundle.
They might, but they want you to be just with them. So they probably got to build up a little bit more for them to really want to do that. But before we get off Netflix, can we talk about how they're destroying Blockbuster after a KO?
I did see that the documentary or some shit, huh?
Yeah, it's coming out with the documentary basically of like the story of Blockbuster. I don't know if that's like a respect thing or like a they paved the way, or is it just like a finisher?
To this day, I don't see why Blockbuster never tried to get on that wave of streaming.
That killed me.
I get it when Netflix first dropped and you had to mail in your fucking DVDs and all that bullshit. Like that was just not convenient.
I still like that better than Blockbuster, honestly.
You what?
When it came out, it was
you had to wait 2 to 3 days to get the movie you want to watch.
But you could get like 5 or 6 of them.
Bro, you could just go to the store.
Blockbuster was so much more expensive. If you want to get 5 or 6 brand new movies at Blockbuster back then, it was a lot more expensive than what Netflix was offering. Like Netflix,
it wasn't Netflix. It was like, I'm thinking about Redbox. Redbox was also it was like $1.
Streaming them shits online. That's when it was like,
I think Blockbuster did try a streaming service, if I'm not mistaken, or they did try to rebrand or something, but it was too late.
To acquire them or something.
Yeah,
damn.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
on the documentary.
You're right about that. We will.
Watch, they're probably gonna say we tried to sell it for $1 billion and Blockbuster said no. Some shit like that's gonna come out.
You know, Blockbuster is very nostalgic. We also had Hollywood. I don't know.
Hollywood videos.
Okay,
I love
Hollywood. Yeah.
They never get talked about.
They don't. But
Blockbuster was that. Dang, people still use that name. Which came first?
Blockbuster.
The actual thing and not a Blockbuster?
You mean like I think no, I don't know.
I figured maybe Blockbuster was already a term. Like it's a Blockbuster, and then they took that and
made the rental.
I don't know.
So maybe that's why it's just talked about more, because it's already a term in the industry, and so it's just like it's gonna stick around a little bit more than Hollywood videos.
Yeah, well, I remember those days. You know, there's a whole generation of people out here, probably grown folks, that don't know nothing about Blockbuster. Like
that's where you had to rent the video games and shit.
Man, that was such a good time. Those Thursday, Friday nights, and me and my dad would just go like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Blockbuster
night." That was,
and you had to hurry up.
Oh,
yes, because if you get a hot movie, gone.
They would
have like 40 of them, and all 40 would be missing.
Yes, they would have a whole panel. You'd be looking behind all of the empty cases. Like,
or you hope like the person at the front, hey, do you have any that been returned yet? And then they go
Right.
check through the
Oh,
return
such a
box.
vibe.
Like, yes.
Yeah. Or go to another location, like, oh, maybe we should go to such and such location to see if they have some over there.
Yeah.
My
But-
We
parents
would
were
hit
not
2 and
about
that's
it. My parents were like, one and done.
Yeah.
oh, it's not here. Find something
Next
else.
time.
Yeah. Then you'd be like, all right, let's just get Michael Jackson, the Jackson
Let's
Story.
just get
Not
right.
Michael Jackson.
No, come on, Temptations.
Okay. We can watch something at home then.
Oh man, what a
And
time!
then the candy at the end, trying to sneak that in after I already took forever.
Put
in
it on the
movie section.
counter.
Yeah.
Wait, how did this get here?
Why do we all live the same
Can
life?
we get it, please?
Wait till the very end and look at the cashier. I
But
used to
they
look at the
know
cashier
that's
like
right there in the front. They know that's marketing 101. Put the candy right there, eye level for the kids.
for
Yeah.
the kids. For the kids. I remember sneaking something on, and I remember when the cashier didn't say nothing.
Yes. My parents be
Ma'am,
like,
did you
wait a
want
second, why
this?
was this a little higher than what I remember? Wait, we got some candy?
Hey, let me see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
What a time.
man.
You had to be there.
You
Boy,
had
oh
to be there
Man.
for my
I'm
dad's
pretty
eye
sure the young
rolls.
kids are like, "I don't give a fuck about no Blockbuster."
Gen Z probably like, here y'all go again, reminiscing on shit. Move on. Get over it.
Man, that was fun.
Yeah, that was. Okay, so let's take a break. Okay, we are back, and we just want to acknowledge the fact that the Grammys comes on today. All I know is that Doja Cat better be walking out with a Grammy or two in her hand, straight like that. Who else?
She
do y'all wanna see?
should. Do you know off the top of your head the reporting period or whatever they call it? Is it summer?
I don't know what the period is, but I'd imagine the early pandemic. So like Say
Yeah.
So. for
Yeah,
sure
that's what I'm
should be
thinking.
in that.
Okay,
That's what I'm
so she's getting
thinking.
it for what? Album of the year
Oh,
Maybe
or rap single?
you're
the
saying for her?
song. I think
Yeah,
the
what is
song.
she nominated for?
I know for a fact she's nominated for Best New Artist.
Oh,
She better win that. She better win that.
why
Who's
do I
she
feel
even
like she's
going
been out
against?
for longer than? But we always have this conversation every year about somebody not being new.
I don't know how they structure what's a new artist and what's not, because she definitely has had music before, but I guess maybe her music was not
I guess
not
when the
quite-
debut drops, that's
right,
when
the
it's still
actual
classified as a
album.
newcomer.
Right. So
Because what was the song that broke?
Say So. Low-key Juicy kind of, but Say
Juicy.
So took
Oh,
it
I
to the next
forgot
level.
about Juicy.
Or Move?
Juicy.
Well,
Bitch,
Come
I'm a
on.
cow.
that was more
That was-
internet. That was more
yes.
internet. I didn't hear Move on the radio. Juicy
Move
got
is
a lot
definitely,
of
and that was like
play.
2.5 years ago too.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about 2.5 years later, best new artist.
How many of these new artists got their SoundCloud doing numbers?
But okay, but but now that we clarified it, when you drop your debut,
I'm
that's-
assuming, I don't know, but the debut came out.
that
damn
makes
near-
sense.
I think it was like September, October 2019 is when her album dropped.
Mhm.
And the fact that she's still putting out singles from that bad boy like it's the 90s. Yes, girl, you better give us 7 and
Full
8 singles from an album.
Full
Shoot.
album. I was looking at some of these recent artist work and like looking for some 2020 songs. Some of these artists have low-key put out 2 and 3 EPs with like 20, 30 songs. Like clearly they need a team to tell them this not it.
That's
Because
not
now
an
you
EP.
gave me 50
18 is
songs
put,
that I'm not
18
listening
is
to.
a lot nowadays.
Come
Hell
on.
yeah. Give me
15
a
is
solid
really good.
12. Give me a
Ooh.
solid 12 or 13
12?
songs.
For an album, 12.
I feel like 10
Yes.
is too quick at times. I'm like 12 to 15.
Sometimes when you start getting up, whereas we start putting in filler songs. Look, I get
Some
your
of them
passion
should-
about this, but it ain't hitting.
Yeah, maybe just keep that on the I don't know, streaming service or in the vault.
Give us the bonus album.
Yeah,
Put it
the
on
deluxe.
Yeah,
That's what they
The
used to do.
deluxe.
The deluxe albums.
put it on that one.
But them deluxe jams better be jamming though. Otherwise, keep it.
Get a second opinion as well as we're trying to figure out what's gonna
Yeah.
be on the
Because
deluxe.
Janae be killing me with that shit.
Monet?
Janae, Aiko.
Oh,
Her
yikes.
stuff do be long.
I'd be like 20.
And a lot of them sound the same, which, you know, if you like her vibe, you like her vibe. So you can probably sit through them, but like, all
With
right,
6
I could have hit
interlude
repeat as well.
freestyles and shit. It's like, okay, girl.
No, seriously.
But I love her.
I do
Shout
too.
out. She did
I
drop
think
that
she has
Selling
album of the
Soul.
year. She's up for album of the year
Is
for the
she?
Grammys.
Oh,
Yeah, she is.
okay.
Chilombo.
Chilombo.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
if Big Sean is up there for Detroit too. A lot of people like that one.
Well,
Okay.
no, I think what was it? Nas, Freddie Gibbs, Jay Electronica for best rap album.
Get out of here.
Benny, no, I don't think Benny the Butcher got that. Royce the
Benny the
5'9".
Butcher.
Royce the
Huh.
5'9". It's a weird. Everybody's saying Nas is just gonna get it to make up, sort of like
For old
Leonardo with the
times.
Revenant. Yeah, but I think everybody's saying Freddie needs to win that, so we'll see.
Interesting. Okay, well,
They
you
don't
know
have
what?
Pop Smoke in there.
Now look,
He might be nominated for something.
I wouldn't be surprised if he
Best
almost
new
has to
rap,
be.
best new artist.
you know what? He
Something
might
like
be in the
that.
best new artist thing. I may have seen his name. I don't want to lie though. I guess we'll see tonight. I'll have my ear to the streets, see what I can hear, stay on Twitter, you know.
Okay.
But again, I need Doja to be leaving, taking pictures like this. And I actually, if Meghan is nominated, I would like for her to win a Grammy too. She carried us through the pandemic. And Chloe and Halle, I think they have been nominated for something. I want them to win.
Dang, I wonder what Chloe and Halle. Actually, their album wasn't good. So Doja has a record. Doja has new artists.
I like their album.
I don't see their album. I know they were nominated for something. I just don't know what.
Oh, okay. Also, speaking of Grammys, what's y'all's group name? What you doing? Where you at? They're gonna be performing. They petitioned to perform allegedly. I think
Bruno.
it was staged. Yes, Bruno and
there was
Anderson.
that whole shit going back and forth on Twitter. I just really wasn't. I was like, nigga, either y'all performing or you're not.
It was giving me publicity stunt.
That's what it
was.
was.
Just like, what's going on? So the Grammys don't just be adding in performances last minute unless somebody dies. So y'all probably was already on the lineup. Stop it. But
I want to see it.
Shout out to Anderson.
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and move on from the Grammys and talk about our verses, which is going to kind of be related to the royal family debacle from earlier this week. Not even what, are you willing to sacrifice everything, your finances, your family, maybe even your friends, for the love of your life, like Harry did?
Man, I think for that, you really have to that's the only way you can put it. It's like you would almost have to give up everything that's in our life, because everything that Harry gave up is like, it's a lot. So that would be like me uprooting myself completely and like leaving behind everything. Granted, like still having some kind of relationship with my family, but not really, because I'm about to put y'all on blast as well. So like
that part.
And I think I would be able to do it only if I really felt like my partner was like hurting, and disrespected.
Okay.
Like if you, as a result of us being attached to this family, are feeling constantly disrespected, having suicidal thoughts, and it's just like really the relationship is already deteriorating anyway. It's like, look, I care more about this person and our relationship and our family than like to stay here for, money and all of this, which he was probably low-key unhappy as well. Or not really concerned about that kind of stuff. And so to watch that and then have the memories of like his actual mother, it's like, okay, this is too much. It's time for me to walk away. I think I would be able to do that. But definitely easier said than done, because
I want to say, I wonder if it would have been the same outcome had he not had that inheritance.
You're saying like if he wasn't a royal, or you're saying like
if
financials?
Princess
from
Diana didn't have that inheritance for him to be able to, cut ties.
Did they ever say how much that was? Did they ever disclose that?
I'm gonna say I don't know.
Okay.
Part of me is like, it should be a substantial amount, but then I'm like, nigga, you ain't got security. Maybe it wasn't a lot.
Well,
But
you know what?
then I'm like, why isn't
He
Meghan
said,
worth? No, but what were y'all doing?
I thought he said they were able to do it. He said, in large part due to my inheritance.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Right?
saying. But
Dang,
like,
so it probably.
how were they not able to afford security then?
I don't know, but I will say this. I think within context of their situation, the royal family is not like a real family in the sense of like, yeah, we kicking in, we partying, whatever. It really is more so of a business. So if he already lost his mother to similar circumstances, he's not really all that close. I mean, like, you're close to a certain extent, but it's not like a real emotional closeness. It's a closeness of like being familiar with things.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it's more so him sacrificing, like it being less about the family and more about the title, right? The obligation, the duty.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to put myself in his shoes, it may be a little easier for me because essentially it's like you're stepping away from your job versus like my family is really, really, really close, right? But we're talking my significant other is uncomfortable or like auntie such and such didn't put him through hell. And that means I also lose whatever money my family has, hypothetically speaking. Let's say they're worth millions, even billions. That would be really, really hard for me to do, but I think I would do it. But he also only knew Meghan. He's only known Meghan about 4 or 5 years. She was going through hell damn near within a year of them being together. So you really have to know that this is your one, because God forbid this were to not work out. And I think the Royals were banking on that. I think that's why they gave them such hell, because they didn't want
Thinking that she would just drop out.
I think
that she would hate it that much too and be like, I can't do this. And so that's probably why the beginning was almost worse. And they're probably like, nah, we're getting married actually.
Right, exactly. Not expecting them to still get married.
Let me call y'all bluff and push all my chips to the table.
Got 2 kids now. Look, bye. Y'all still doing this?
Right. So that probably and them doing the interview. I'm sure this is all just like, oh, we did not know you were gonna do all of this stuff. Okay, bet. Yeah, we're gonna play hardball and all, whatnot. So yeah, I think for myself, I would, but I'm not gonna say one is harder than the other. But if you do have strong emotional ties to your family, I'm sure it would be really, really hard to just be like, I'm never talking to y'all again.
So then let's, I guess, almost make it more realistic. It's like if both of your parents, like that show we talked about, that my parents hate my boyfriend or something like that. And so it's just like your immediate family. I think that was the name of it. Like your immediate family has just been extremely rude and disrespectful. And as many times as you tell them, like, stop talking to my man like that, and you tried and they're still like chatter and all of this stuff. At what point, like, are you okay with like, maybe should we even say like dating? Because I feel like marriage is like, all right, sorry, I gotta let y'all go. But like, let's say you've been dating for like a year and a half, and it's like, look, y'all are doing a lot. Like, do you continue?
I think you'd hope, and you hear some stories like this with interracial dating. You'd hope that the family would eventually come around, or they will finally get to know who your partner is, and might change their perception about Black people. But that's what the idea is. But then at some point you just got to figure out, like, okay, they're not going to change. Then you're at the crossroad.
Yeah.
Do I get engaged, cut the family off, or what?
That's so tough.
So then maybe then a harder question.
Let's just run away.
What would have to be the case for you to pick your family?
Well, first of all, what is it that they're concerned about? Because sometimes the family be having some valid points. So what is it that is the issue? Is it the fact that you don't like the way my boyfriend looks? Is it something like superficial? Or
she doesn't like her occupation. They don't like
he can't take care.
He's a drug dealer.
Actually, that's a perfect scenario. Finances. So let's say what my parents, I'm sure they want me to have somebody that, is bringing in decent income. They probably want them to have a degree. So let's say this person dropped out of college and, they're struggling, right? Mm-hmm. But financially.
I'm holding us down, and they can tell.
So in that sense,
could
you
you
know
be
what?
that? Could you be the parents that would support your daughter, knowing that you have to support them financially?
See, this is now we're asking too many questions. I don't
You know,
know.
like,
I don't
do what you want to
know.
do, just don't bleed our pockets.
So that's the
Well,
thing. Like, let's say you come from money a little bit, and your parents are like, "Look, this man. I know you've been with him a year and a half, but this man, you bring him more than he is, and he also, he's not my favorite person to be around. I
He
don't
can't
like
keep a
him.
job.
That's why I openly disrespect him. This is why I'm doing this, Y, and Z, and he just not reacting well, or some kind of
Yeah.
BS argument, you're having with your parents. Um, I I don't know if that would be enough for me to be like, y'all are right. Because
yeah.
at the point of me bringing someone to my parents, I think that I am right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's tough. I
And I'm
don't
never
know.
down for disrespect, period. Right. So
Right.
like that is a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
We're gonna check that as soon
Yeah.
as it happens. But if they are telling me maybe they're not disrespectful like blatantly, because I guess in this case, like she said the people were lovely, like the family, it was the people around that were the issue
Mhm.
for the most part. So in this, if we were to apply that to real life, so maybe in front of the face, they're respectful, but behind closed doors, your parents or your family is like, this guy's a bus. You need to go ahead and move on, whatever. And if you decide to marry him, we don't want any parts.
Yeah. I mean, my partner would definitely have to be respectful. And I could see that she's trying her best to try and make things work with the family. And if she's one of them people that's calling my mama and my daddy bitches and hoes and fuck them, and how it can get back and forth. I might be like, yeah, I'm not about to live with this.
I mean, I guess
You
one
gotta
thing.
go. Get all the family behind you. Pack your bags.
One thing that would give me pause if I had some kind of inheritance, and they were like, look, if you go through with this man is going to be entitled to this inheritance. We're going to have to adjust the will. Like, then I might be like, hold on, let me think twice before I say no. Like,
right.
yeah,
Dang.
that would be it.
Well, thankfully, my family does not have an inheritance, at least not to my knowledge. It's also a good thing I'm not a royal. It sounds like a miserable job to have if you're not fully in it. So I guess we'll see what Harry and Meghan continue to do as they live this American life. I hope they're able to, have a decent life. But it seems like they're doing okay.
It seems like
Based
they're
on
all
what we saw in the
right.
interview. Yeah.
Seems like
They're
they're
not hurt.
happy.
I think it's a multi-million-dollar home that they're in now. So they're doing just fine. Shout out to Princess Diana. Shout out to her.
Having the foresight.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you like what you heard and you are not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, follow us on social media at He Said, We Said. Y'all have any final thoughts?
I don't have none except I'm still a hater for everybody getting the money per head in their house.
Well,
yeah. Shout outs to OU and TSU. Let's go March Madness.
Okay.
Yeah, TSU beat Prairie View, nigga.
You ain't got nobody on here that's about to ride.
Okay,
At all.
At all. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.